Greetings, Internet! My name is James, and welcome to another set of satisfying stories, where today we're gonna jump right into a pro-revenge story that teaches us how to respect our elders. Never Mess with the Grannies, a story by Kookabannis. This is a story from the distant past when I was a kid. Think early 80s in Australia. My family lived in suburban Townsville then. We had a fairly tight-knit community on our street and all generally got along well. Our neighbor on the right side was a lovely old lady. I have no idea what her name was, but all us kids called her Gran. She was a tough old bird, lived in the bush all her life, and had a real no-nonsense attitude. On our left side was a block of 2 flats with tenants that seemed to come and go all the time. At this particular time, there was a middle-aged woman and her 2 kids. This woman, as I recall, was a bit of a witch and had a better-than-you attitude. No idea what her name was, but we'll refer to her as Karen, because it fits. Now, Gran loved her garden and was always working in it. She grew beautiful flowers. Her garden was always kept in perfect condition and was essentially what kept her going in her old age. The local kids were welcome in her garden just as long as we didn't make a mess. Karen, on the other hand, loved her dog. It was some poodle cross thing and an ugly mutt in my opinion. Unlike the rest of our dogs, it was not allowed to roam the streets and play with the kids, but was kept inside except for the daily walk each morning on a leash. I bet you can see where this is heading. One morning, we heard the sounds of an argument coming from Gran's front yard. Apparently, Karen had decided to help herself to some of Gran's flowers while walking the dog. When told off by Gran, she then decided to insult Gran's garden, which was a very bad mistake. So the 2 exchanged words before Karen stalked off. We thought that was that until Gran started to find dog droppings in her yard every day. Every day. As most of our dogs roamed the streets, she couldn't say it was happening deliberately, just that it was strange that the dogs had avoided the place until now. Then we find out that Karen has changed her routine and was walking her dog at dawn each day. My dad had spotted her as he was going to work, and of course Karen was using the opportunity to have her dog take a dump on Gran's lawn. When Gran found out, she was furious. I was at school at the time, so I didn't see it, but Mom recounted the events. Apparently, Gran had taken a garden trowel full of dog droppings and gone over to Karen's door, where she told Karen she would rub your face in the next dog pile I see on my lawn. Karen responded with a tirade of abuse and then slammed the door before Gran threw the droppings at her. Okay, so the stage is set. On to Act 2. Scene: early Saturday morning. We were woken by screams at daybreak. It sounded like there was an almighty fight happening at Gran's place. All of the neighbors rushed out to the most amazing scene ever. In Gran's front yard, on the lawn, lay Karen, face down, with Gran perched astride her back. One hand on the back of Karen's neck, and the other hand with a firm grip in Karen's hair as she rubbed her face back and forth through a nice, fresh pile of dog droppings. Karen was screaming bloody murder between gasping for breath and spitting out grass and that sweet, fresh manure. Gran was shouting, "I warned you! I bloody warned you, you stupid witch!" So it turns out the cunning old girl knew Karen was too stupid to take a warning. So Gran had got up early to lay in wait and then ambushed Karen in the garden. Karen was never the same again. She moved out in less than a week. Remember, never mess with the grannies, folks. This reminds me of my grandmother. She loved her garden and didn't take guff from anyone. This is exactly the type of thing she would do to get revenge on her neighbor. Karen didn't realize that Gran was old school and that she must have believed in an eye for an eye type of punishment. I guess we know now where we get the phrase, rubbing their faces in it. Let's move on to our next story of malicious compliance set in a hospital's emergency room. Emergency Department Malicious Compliance. A story by Vaucious Hole. I used to work in a busy emergency department on night duty. We were experiencing a very busy shift. Place was chockers. Wait times were long. A number of waiting patients kept approaching the triage desk, asking how much longer, I'm so sick, etc., etc. One gentleman in particular was whining more than the whole waiting room put together. Quite angry, but not threatening. The way that this ER was set out, those in the waiting room could see the ambulances rolling in with patients in the background. Now things eventually quieted down, and we were getting through the backlog of some of our lower category triaged patients. But our angry gentleman was nowhere to be seen when called. Not 10 minutes later, who rolls in via ambulance? You guessed it, the angry man. He'd left, gone home, and called an ambulance to try his luck at getting seen quicker. Now in that 10 minutes, triage had become quite busy again. So angry gentleman was triaged, helped off the ambulance trolley, and escorted back into the waiting room. Man, was he pissed! He left of his own accord not long after he realized that we weren't going to let him jump the queue. So don't try to stupidly jump the queue in the emergency department when you don't have an emergency. Emergency rooms are for emergencies, not the sniffles. I'm guessing that this story took place somewhere outside of the United States. We don't call it an emergency department here. It's an ER or emergency room. I kind of wish it had taken place here though. This frustratingly angry man not only would have been sent back to the waiting room, but he would have also been billed at least $500 for the ambulance ride in his attempts to jump the line and get ahead of people. That would have been icing on the cake. So how about we wrap up our stories today with a new category called I Don't Work Here, Lady, where a crazy customer loses her mind because the poster doesn't actually work there. I don't work here, and calling the police won't change that. A story by the Matt Green. I used to work for a large electronics store in California. I don't want to give the name, but it rhymes with fries. The job was fine, the customers were nuts. For some reason, electronic stores plus their customers equals, my time is valuable, you will help me now. I ended up leaving to go work as an office drone for twice the pay that was located directly across the street. Since I still liked my former coworkers and I liked browsing video games, I used to go over every once in a while for my lunch break. And that was where the problem started. My new job had a professional dress code. A white button-up shirt and slacks with your name badge visible. Fries, oddly enough, had a similar dress code. So I'd go over, and once in a while, a customer would come up asking for help. I would politely tell them I didn't work there, show them my badge that had a different company name on it, and direct them to the sales desk where the employees spent their time. It was generally no problem. Once in a while, I'd get a pushy person, but I'd just walk away. That was just how it went until Karen was summoned from the depths of hell to come after me. It was a fairly quiet day at work, so I ended up with a double lunch since there was nothing to do. I went over to Fry's and started perusing the new PS2 games, looking for the new Armored Core. It's not an important detail, it's just what I was doing. A woman comes up to me, asks me if her son would like a game. I said, I have no idea, but I know I liked it. I wasn't bothered beyond that until the Karen arrived. I was flipping through a Game Pro and heard someone clearing their throat and snapping their fingers. I looked up and didn't see anyone, so I went back to reading. The sound gets louder and louder, and suddenly, someone grabs my arm and spins me round aggressively. I was face to face with a nasty face sneer painted on a middle-aged mom's face. Before I can ask, the you want? She starts yelling. Now, this is not verbatim, it's been 18 years, but it's pretty close. Are you just stupid? Or are you stupid and ignoring me? I don't work here, sorry. Salespeople are over there at that desk. I turn to walk away and she pinches my arm to stop me. No, you will help me or you will be looking for new work. Okay, sure. I guess I'll go look for new work. See ya. I turn away again and she grabs my arm and tries to turn me back. Having enough, I reach out and snatch her little purse from her hand and huck it over her head into the next aisle, and while she stands there stunned, I walk away. That was assault. They have it on camera. You're going to jail and you're gonna be fired. I keep walking while she follows me, giving my description to the 911 operator. The manager is called over, and since she is shrieking and cussing, he tries to calm her down. She tells him that I walked up to her and grabbed her purse, took out the money and threw it and shoved her away, and she wanted to press charges and wanted me fired. Now, since I didn't work there, I wasn't getting fired. However, I was asked to stick around until the police arrived. I agreed and sat talking to my old co-workers. She kept snottily saying that I was done. She was going to make sure I went away for a long time, etc. I just ignored her. The police arrive and she starts shrieking about my assault. The security tape is reviewed and shows her approaching and attacking me. I was told I shouldn't have thrown her purse, but at least I didn't hit her, which would have been within my rights. I was asked if I wanted to press charges, and as I'm saying I don't, and I just want to buy my game and get back to work, she loses it. She is cussing, calling me a racist, we're both white, and a sexist because I'm a man and I shouldn't have attacked her. She threatens to sue and takes the badge number from the officer. She goes to leave, and the officer tells her she can't until he's done. She flips him off, and I say, I want to press charges for assault now, please, and he grabs her. She lunges at me, gets tossed to the ground, and handcuffed. I never actually pressed charges, I just gave my statement and started chatting with the officer while the other officer wrote notes. As I'm talking to him, another woman with the same Karen haircut walks up, grabs my arm, and turns me around, demanding service. Can you help me or no? I look at the officer and he looks pissed. I explain that I don't work there, I just have a similar outfit. She goes, oh, sorry, I thought you worked here, and she goes to an actual employee. So I guess you could say I went on my lunch break, went to buy a video game, and ended up attacked, late back to work, and a woman ends up arrested for assault. I can't believe how crazy that lady went when she didn't get her own way. Situations like that prove to me that some people just don't outgrow throwing tantrums. I guess you can say she got a timeout in jail. Well, that's going to do it for us here today at Satisfying Stories. As always, thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see when the next video goes up. I'm working on establishing a 3-video-a-week schedule for you all, so expect a new video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!